We are proud with what we are doing. If the government arrests us today, the government is going to release us immediately, so we are not afraid. We are going to take over this country whether you like it or not. If the government cannot provide for us, we are going to provide for ourselves. We are bigger than the military. We are not joking. We are proud with what we are doing. If the government arrests us today, the government is going to release us immediately, so we are not afraid. We are going to take over this country whether you like it or not. If the government cannot provide for us, we are going to provide for ourselves. We are bigger than the military. We are not joking.
Hello, my audience. Welcome to this channel. Now, it is very important we iron out this issue. Tinubu giving a marching order to the new appointed defense minister to go and crush the terrorists, to go and fish them out, to go after the supposed Islamic cleric inciting the killings through indoctrination, teaching the Almajiris and indoctrinating them to become extremists and the rest of them. That is not the problem. You can't leave the substance and pursuing after shadows and think you will end up solving or resolving the issue. If you want to get a problem solved, you must identify the problem. The source of the problem or the root of the problem must be dealt with before you can think of solving that problem. If you have not located the problem to its roots, there's no way you can solve the problem. By engaging in peripherals, things that are, inconsequential, things that does not add up. If Tinubu has the political will or intention of fighting or contending with the insurgency, Tinubu, by virtue of his position as the Grand Commander of the Armed Forces and the President of Nigeria, is privy to very critical informations. You can't deny the fact that he's not in the know of the terrorist financiers. So if he's by any way, any consideration at all, contemplating of fighting insurgency or committing to the cause of eradicating this national dilemma that has brought so much disrepute, disgrace to the Nigerian state under his watch as the president. Nigeria is being described as a disgraced nation, a disgraced country by the current president of the United States. What does that tell you? That Nigeria is tilting towards a fair state. Whether those within the corridor of power is comfortable with such positions or not, possibly they may want to defer with such position. Why? Because they have an interest to protect. They want to remain within the corridor of power. But what is the primary essence of government? If the government cannot protect life and properties, which is the primary responsibility of any government, and the least any government can do for her citizens is to guarantee their security. Any government that fails in this primary responsibility is already a failed government. So for Tinubu to be, it is not just about pushing propagandas out there, raising people or media warriors and the rest of them to push deceptive propaganda. Tinubu knows what to do if he really intends to fight or contend with the terrorists. Or possibly he might be considering or being sympathetic that majority of his top supporters or allies might be roped in eventually in the course of uh, going after these terrorist financiers. Uh, Badaru resigned, tendered resignation, and there was pressure that Matawale should also resign just by the demand of the US Congress a condition that for them to partner with the Nigerian government, sorry, in contending with the terrorists. So what is holding back Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the president? As a matter of urgency, it's one thing to declare the state of emergency in terms of security and the rest of them. One thing is to engineer all the arsenals of the states, all the to activate all the instruments of the states to achieve this. You can't just say, okay, changing Minister of Defense and the rest of them can't solve the problem. To your surprise, you will understand that even the Minister of Defense is not privy to certain informations that the president is aware. Not one way of solving this problem. If Tinubu has nothing to hide under his cupboard, or possibly trying to shield certain personalities who, at one time or the other, might have contributed to the success of his emerging as the president of Nigeria and the rest of them, then he must show some level of preparedness and political will to address this, irrespective of who's all is God. Whosoever is found culpable should be dealt with according to the law, if actually there is any law. If actually there is any law and if it is being followed to the letter. So mandating the General Musa retired as the chief of as Minister of Defense to go after the terrorists, to clamp them down, and the rest of them. How many will you deal with? But if you're able to publish, list the list of these people are already aware of it. Individuals or private entities are privy to such information. So why is the government, a whole institution of the state, dragging about their feet to publish these lists? That is the first victory against insurgency. That is the first victory that could be recorded against terrorism fight by Tinubu's administration. Recall the U.S. congressmen and American governments are running out of patience. They have been observing that there is no drastic actions or intentions taken by the Ahmed Bola Tinubu administration. And some people might be hyping him and the rest of them that Minister of Defense will cross down. He is not new. He might be eloquent and fluent in his utterances and the rest of them, presentations of whatever strategy or whatever, but that doesn't end there. The Minister of Defense is a very eloquent speaker. He wouldn't win the war by just trying to bamboozle the people and the rest of them. It is in the action. It is in the action, in the implementation of the strategies. And unfortunately, the military has been infiltrated, whether you like it or not. And that has weakened their strength. The military strength has been weakened. So how do you address those infiltrators, those Boko Haram that were infiltrated into the military? The first thing to win the war is to get them out of the military, disengage them. Now, you can now know the numerical strength of the military and how they could strategize against these people. But in as much as most of them or majority of them remains in the military hierarchy, in different status or cadets, there is no way you can win the war against insurgency because they have been planted, they have infiltrated the military and other security operatives for a very important reason. Is to weaken and collapse the military. So whatever effort they are doing with their collaborators outside there is just to get the military collapse so that they could possibly easily, seamlessly overrun the entire system. and hijack the Nigerian state. There could possibly be a repeat of what's happening in Afghanistan, and the rest of them. So, what will the government do at this particular time? In fact, time is running out. The video you just watched at the beginning suggests that these people are ready. They are well funded, they have the massive network support system and the rest of them. The logistic, who is that financing the logistics, keeping these people, providing food, ammunition, and the rest of them? They are not in lack of anything. Why the Nigerian military or combatant men or regular military personnel or whatever they are being called at the battlefield, they are complaining of food, they are complaining of logistics, they are complaining of poor weapons and ammunition. These people aren't complaining, not even that. They are not complaining everything. They have everything supplied surplus. They have everything at their disposal. They have everything well taken care of in surplus. So they are not complaining whether they have shortage of food or the rest of them, or logistics or look at how they are displaying it. They are ready to overtake Nigeria, to subdue Nigeria. That nothing could stop them at overrunning the country. And here we have a city government that is still dragging about her feet over the security of Nigerians. Look at adoptions of priests, of worshippers, and the rest of them has become more rampant than ever. One could have imagined. Kidnapping and the rest of them is out of place. Nobody seems to be safe in Nigeria today under the watch of Tinubu's administration. APC has brought so much shame, disgrace to Nigerians, locally and internationally. So anybody trying to, be economical with the West is quite unfortunate. Under the watch of Buhari Tinubu, you've seen the disgrace, Nigeria becoming country of political concern. What does that tell you? That happened first during Donald Trump first term, first tenure. Under Buhari, the issue escalated. Recall, Tinubu, Buhari, and the rest of them, Rotimi Amechi, Erofai, the rest of them, they ganged up themselves. They went to America to report Jonathan administration that the height of insecurity is getting out of control. Possibly they want to seek the sympathy of then Obama, so that they, with the assistance of that, they could oust Jonathan out of office, which eventually they succeeded. But had they really succeeded from what we are seeing today? The fire is burning underneath them, and they don't know what to do. They are being overwhelmed by the same monster they created. APC created this monster, invited people to come and kill Nigerians. And today, they are ravaging several communities. The same APC government integrated the terrorists into government, into the military. An innocent military combatment has been wasted. Thousands of them. That the Minister of Chief of Army Staff came without mentioning, was said that 10,000 of the recruits, military recruits last year, their whereabouts is unknown. How do you mean? When you reintegrate the terrorists into the military, what do you expect them? It is a natural instinct. It's just a matter of time they return back to where they belong. And while they're going, they will cut away with the guns, with the military camouflage and the rest of them at their disposal. And that is the reason why it is rampant when they are in operations and the rest of them. You see them wearing military regalias and the rest of them, making it difficult for even their victim to suspect them, most of the cases. So what does that mean? The Nigerian military architecture has been widely compromised. The Nigerian sovereignty has been compromised. So where is that sovereignty? Where the Nigerian citizens' life and properties could no longer be guaranteed or protected under this government. So where is that sovereignty? Where is that, I mean, that consciousness of sovereignty? If the life of the people can no longer be protected or guaranteed by a sitting government. No, it is imperative, it's very important and incumbent that we begin to ask these vital, important questions. This could be mere jamboree or intended to distract the Americans or to buy time for whatever that will happen, and eventually it's so unfortunate. Publish the list of these terrorists and their sponsors. You know them, you're aware of them. And if you don't know, consult private individuals who will give you these names published. Investigation has been set up to unravel this. Of course, the sponsors behind this, according to Major General um, Ali Kefi, he made a stunning revelations, indicting most of the service chiefs and the ex-attorney general Malami, could eventually lead to his prosecution and eventual dismissal. All these things are not hidden before the public. Well, why is the government lacking the courage to publish this list and go after the perpetrators? When you tackle the problem from its roots, then you are halfway solving the problem. But if you are just beating about the bush, distracting yourself, thinking you are too smart to deceive the gullible ones, well, all the time we prove you wrong. And Americans are watching, and of course, and eventually, what we need is intervention of international communities to wade into this matter and also prove the government the reason why the government of Tinubu failed to publish this list. Could it be said his hands are tied or what? Or does he have anything to be afraid of? If he doesn't have any skeleton in his cupboard, well, only time would reveal that. Let me have your own take regarding this development. It's already night, and sadly, there was no light here. But no, whatever happens, let me get your take via the comment section. It's an important issue and subject matter we cannot at this particular time sweep under the carpet. Let me know what is your own take. Thanks for watching.
The government is going to release us immediately, so we are not afraid. We are going to take over this country whether you like it or not. If the government cannot provide for us, we are going to provide for ourselves. We are bigger than the military. We are not joking. We are proud with what we are doing. If the government arrests us today, the government is going to release us immediately, so we are not afraid. We are going to take over this country whether you like it or not. If the government cannot provide for us, we are going to provide for ourselves. We are bigger than the military. We are not joking.